Hello everybody, and welcome to a WorldPainter tutorial. WorldPainter is the program that I use to make any of the maps that I put on any of the servers that I do for Minecraft, and I figured that I would provide a little tutorial of how I exactly make those. This will be incredibly basic to start, just going over what the program can do, and then I'll make a couple more if people are interested, just showing other things you can do in the software. So when you first load it up, and simply to download it, just Google WorldPainter, a download will come up. But you're going to open it up and it's going to have this kind of very basic green square world here. We can go to File, New World, and start editing stuff. So we're going to say, this is our world. You can change the dimensions. You can make an absolutely huge world, have it be, 6,000 some blocks, or you can simply do what we're going to do and make it very small so that we can work with a small little area. You can also make it circular if you desire. We're going to stick with square, and then you can make it hilly or flat. So if you wanted to, make a interesting flat land, you could do that really easily in this program. We're going to make it hilly, and then you can change what the surface material is. So whether or not we want it to be sand maybe, or a mesa biome, you can do that as planned. You can also do advanced stuff, which you can change exactly what is on each layer of the thing. So once again, if you wanted to do a flat land and have different layers underneath, you could easily do that. We're going to stick with just grass. And then finally, if you wanted to pick a specific seed, you could. We're just going to stick with an ocean like we have it now. Okay, so there we go. There's our small little piece of land that we're going to work with. We'll zoom up a little bit, and there it is. So what are we going to do with this? I was thinking that we make a island. We'll just make a small little island, maybe throw a volcano on it, and just work with it. So let's show off all of the tools that you have here. So you have spray paint. This can put any terrain or biome onto the map itself. So for instance, you can go over here to terrain, pick, you can pick flowing lava, and then just paint that on. And if you were to export this world and load it up, that would all just be a bunch of lava. But we obviously don't want that. You could also go to biomes, say we wanted, right now it's plains by default, but say we wanted it to be a savanna biome, you could paint the savanna biome on, and now it's going to be a nice savanna biome. Very good if you need to go in, change a biome in your world or something, you can load it into WorldPainter, and then work with it from there. So pretty cool there. You also have a simple pencil tool, which can just draw in whatever you want. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really found a good reason to use this in the past, but sure, you can kind of do whatever you want with it. You also have a fill command, so it will fill on basically any surface you want. I believe it goes by where the positioning is of layers and stuff, but the fill command is not too useful unless you're doing stuff with water. And then they recently added a text tool that, I'll be honest with you, it's a little weird to work. It lags for a little bit for me, and then you can type in something, so hello, and then it will appear in blocks on the terrain. Not sure why you would ever need or even want that, but sure, it works. You also have a water and a lava command. This will fill in water on the layer that you are on and below. So say if we brought it a little bit higher, it's going to do even higher, or the very top of our land, and it will do the very top. You can kind of see it does the contour lines to kind of show height on the map. So these two areas are taller than these two areas. And when we get to the raising up and down tool, you'll see exactly that we can affect that. You also have lava, pretty self-explanatory, and then you also have the sponge tool, which can be used to soak up lava or water. Also very good if you want to get rid of a large area of water in an already existing map. So then it comes to the tools that we will actually be using, which is the height tool, raising or lowering the terrain. By left-clicking, you raise the terrain. By right-clicking, you lower the terrain. You can see that we're hitting water by lowering the terrain enough. Pretty cool there. I'm just Control-Zing to go back. Very basic Windows command. You also have flatten, which can flatten out an area, also very useful. A smoothing, which will smooth out the area as much as possible. So pretty useful if you need to smooth down a mountain. You also have a mountain tool, which will create a very steep mountain in whatever spot you choose to have it in. Obviously, you can increase the size of your area by using your scroll mouse on your mouse. You can change where the spawn is. So right now our spawn is in the top left corner. Say we want it in the middle, we can move it to the middle. And then you have global operations, which you can go in, change something to be all one thing. I never use that too often, but it can be useful. And then finally you have pyramids that you can hold down and create pyramids out of the ground. That one is rotated, this one is square. Pretty useful. I've done them before just as a nice little touch in a desert biome. Okay, so over here are your brushes. There's a bunch of different kinds. Obviously the ones you choose will be basically the extent that you're doing it. So when this one is blurred, it's going to be a little like less extreme when you're painting in whatever you are. But obviously if you do the very extreme one, it's going to be very extreme in painting in your stuff. I usually stick with just a basic blurred one so you can kind of work around it. That's for using the height tool usually. To fill in the terrain, I'll use one of the square or circle more extreme ones just to get a more precise area. They also have these two, which is cracks and noise, and this will create kind of, you can do like splatches of stuff in certain areas, and there are moments when that can be incredibly useful, and I will show you one in this episode. Okay, so let's go in and start making our island. So let's grab our brush tool, and we're just going to bring this down to a point where we feel it is necessary to create our island. So I'm just going to kind of pull this around, and we're just going to make a kind of banana shaped island around here. Just like this. Okay, perfect. That looks pretty good. Now you're probably wondering why isn't this area turning into water? It's just how the world is set up right now, where the water is. We can go in and simply do that, and now we have a nice area of water. Works out perfectly. You can always just grab your water tool, fill in places of water where you were struggling to get, and now we can kind of get that like that. I'm going to smooth this out a little bit here, just so that we get some nice smooth edges on our area. That looks pretty good. And now we're going to go in and I'm going to do a little something in this area, which you can change the intensity of your brushes, you can rotate them, but I'm going to use these right here, the at or above or at or below commands. And I like to use at or below to decide how to put in like sand around areas of water. So if we looked at where our previous, well, you can kind of just mouse over it and see in the bottom left, height 63 of 255. So I'm going to say that 63 is a pretty good place to be at. So when we say at or below 63, we can then paint in our sand. Oh, come on, paint. There we go. You did not click on at or below. There we go. At or below 63, you can paint in our sand. Now, that's not showing up, so let's try at or below 64. You can see a little bit is showing up. Let's go at or below 65. And now even more is showing up. Let's smooth out this back area a little bit. And at or below 65. Paint in our sand. Okay, so there you go. You can kind of create a beach here. If we wanted to extend the beach out a little bit, maybe we use our flatten tool, get rid of the at or below, that is very important, and just kind of extend it out a little bit, and then we can smooth it out to kind of get it looking more natural, and now you have a nice little jutted out beach over there. Now, what is a island without some mountains and some volcanoes? So we can simply go in, add in certain spots where we want some mountains to occur. Maybe we want to have a nice little passage going through here that we can then smooth out and do some cool stuff with. But then let's say we want to have a volcano right here. So we can kind of build up, make it pretty high, maybe bring up this area over here, make it connect right there, but make it where it's not exactly as tall, and then we have a small little mountain over here. And that, I think, will look pretty good. Now, we can go in with our spray brush now, and go in with rock, a mix of rock and cobblestone, and we can kind of just paint on top of, this add or below keeps on clicking, we can kind of paint on top of the mountain with our blurred brush here, a little bit of rock and stone to get a looking like an actual mountain kind of. And since it's pretty high up, it is going to put snow on it, which is a bit of a shame, but I believe we can disable the snow in the export of the map, so that is pretty good. Now, how do we create a volcano exactly? Well, we can go right on top of our mountain and then dig in a little bit. And by digging in, that creates a hole on the top of our mountain that we can fill in with lava. There we go. Do I know exactly how that's going to look right now? No, but we sure will see when we load up our map. Now, what else can we add on to this little area? Well, if we look at our Layers tab, you have a bunch of different things that you can put in. Right now, this area will have no trees, it will have no plants, no vegetation, nothing. So if we are in a plains biome, it's going to look a little weird, so how about we change it to, let's say, a forest. And we can grab our painting tool, grab our forest, and then just kind of paint in this entire area as forest. Sounds good to me. Then we can go in with our deciduous layer and paint in wherever we want trees to be. So I'm just going to paint some trees in around the mountain area. Not on the mountain, because it'd look a little bit odd if it was on the mountain, but around the mountain it will look pretty good. So we have that there. We can then also, if you're doing this as a survival world, you can paint resources on and populate the terrain, and that's going to make sure that there's vegetation as well as, ores, coal, water, and lava pools, just to add a little bit to it. If you want to customize all that yourself in this program, then don't do these two, and you can work with that elsewhere. But I think that looks pretty good. So then you can go to export as a new Minecraft map. And it's going to bring up this menu here. I will direct it to be in my Minecraft directory here shortly. Yeah, I might as well do that now. Ignore everything here. Recent items. Go down. Come on. Go down to screenshots. And from screenshots, we should be able to get up to our .minecraft, which we can then put into saves. Perfect. And then you can change all of the different things here. So say you wanted a world border, which we do not. Say you wanted to change up the underground material, stuff like that. You can add in different caverns or chasms in different areas. You can choose what they do. You can edit the amount of resources in an area. I usually up these on all my servers just because it's more fun. And then different other layers here, which you can choose to do. So we are going to not include chest of goodies. We're going to change our mode to creative, and then we are going to export everything. Now, as this exports, I'm going to go, and I will see you guys in game. Okay, so here we are in our world. You can kind of see we have the mountains going around. You have our deciduous forest trees going all around. You have the rock mixture on the top of this mountain. You have our volcanic mountain here. It didn't come out exactly how we might have wanted it to, but we kind of rushed through it, so that doesn't look too bad for a volcanic mountain. Say you wanted to have the lava spill down a bit, just kind of guide its way down, and you now have erupting volcano on your island here. And then obviously our last third little mountain right there. So this has been a very basic WorldPainter tutorial. The stuff you can do with this program is absolutely incredible. You can really make some amazing structures out there. If you enjoyed this and want me to do a little bit more in-depth of what else you can do in this program, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know. But with that, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.